Thank you for joining in. I am Dr. Arwa Bhiwandiwala, neurophysiotherapist working in Bhiwandi, Mumbai. So, as per today's topic, which is back and knee pain. So, before we go into the exercises part, we first talk about why back pain and knee pain actually occurs. So, why does back pain occur? Is basically due to your improper posture in various positions, in your working, in your sleeping. All those positions account for your improper posture. Then it is your muscle overuse when you're working out too much or when you lift too much of weight, that results in your back pain. After that, it is your back is also related. Your entire back, spine plus your legs are a full part of a kinematic chain. Any disturbance in any part of the spine or any part of the leg will give rise to pain in the back, overdue. So in case if you are having heel pain from a very long time, it can also manifest not as a heel pain much but also as a back pain. So if you, for example, if you have gone for a wedding and you are wearing heels for a very long time, the moment you come back home you realize you've got terrible amount of back pain. So that actually gives rise to your back pain. Back pain could also be a sign of osteoporosis. That is your bone mineral density as you age decreases due to calcium deficiency, vitamin D3 deficiency, magnesium and even vitamin B12 deficiency. Multivitamins give rise to your back pain. So first we need to cure the deficiency. It can also be shown as a referred pain. Referred pain is what exactly? It is referred pain is away, the painful local stimulus is away from the actual site of the pain stimuli. Like for example, in heart attacks, you will manifest the heart attack symptoms as pain in the left shoulder or in the upper back. In case of females, the very common thing which we notice is during menstruation. The uterine pain, its pain is actually in the uterus, but you have a lot of backache. More than you cannot realize the uterine pain, it manifests as a back pain. This is basically because all your sensory neurons, they go from your visceral organs and from your local skin, the skin, the dermatome, the muscle and all, they converge on one of the sensory tracts, the ascending tract, the same tract. So the brain has a difficulty in distinguishing whether it's from your visceral organ or whether it's from a local site of pain. Pain also could be due to your spinal deformities. Now what are spinal deformities? Is kyphosis, that is a complete C-shaped spine. It could be either your upper back kyphosis or your lower back or both. Or it could be due to your scoliosis, that is bending of the spine on one side of the body. So this gives rise to an imbalance of forces. There will be greater forces on one side and lengthening of the other side. This is known as scoliosis. It could also be due to listhesis. Now what is listhesis? Is your vertebral body are on in line with each other. So if one of your vertebral body shifts forward or backward, it could give rise to listhesis and that could give rise to your backache. Backache could also be due to your fractures after a fall or after any injury. It could be a sign of infection, bacterial infection, say tuberculosis. It could manifest as a backache. It could be a sign of cancer. Lung cancer usually demonstrates itself as an upper back pain. So why are we discussing all these causes before discussing exercises? Because until and unless your cause is found out, a diagnosis is made, your pain will keep coming back. So even with the exercises, you will have benefits. You will have temporary benefits. So it will be just like popping a painkiller. You will have temporary relief, but again the pain will come back because your cause is not treated. And in some cases, even if you do your exercises without finding the cause, your pain may get aggravated also. So it's very important to find your cause out. So now we discuss about the posture. The posture is the main culprit of the backache. Once your posture is corrected in day-to-day activities, it's not a one-day job or it's not a 1 hour job that you go to a physiotherapist, you do exercises for an hour, you come back, your pain is relieved. It's a day-to-day procedure which you have to follow. You have to keep concentrating on your posture in your activities which give rise to pain. So the first thing is sitting. In this pandemic, many individuals are doing work from home, working on the laptop. So these individuals must have noticed that there is an increased incidence of low back ache recently. Why is this? Is because of your improper posture while working out. While working on the laptop, you work with a forward head to look on the screen. You work with a slouch spine. Your lower spine is also slouch, and your upper spine is also very much slouch. So you have to take care of this posture. Now what happens when your spine is slouched? There is shortening of your back muscles, and there is lengthening in the other parts of the muscles, due to which there will be weakness in one group of muscles and there will be overuse of the other group of muscles, which will give rise to backache. Now other thing, second is your sleep. In sleep you are spending almost 6 to 8 hours of your whole day. So sleep is a very important part where you have to concentrate on your posture. Your mattress, basically your pillow. Your pillow should support your neck and your mattress should support all your spinal curvatures. In case any of your mattress is in case you're having a stiffness while getting up in the morning, or you're having a lot of backache in the morning, you should concentrate on your mattress also. According to the Sleep Council advises that your mattress should be changed after every 7 years. It is due to the asymmetrical loading of the spine. Now what is meant by the asymmetrical loading of the spine is that your one part of your spine is having to bear more weight. Now when does this happen? It's when you're carrying a briefcase, when you're carrying a luggage in one hand, where it's hanging and you are bending towards carrying the luggage, or you're pulling your shoulder up. Or in females, it's mostly seen by carrying purses. Your purse, while carrying like this, you're moving your one hand more than the other. This all also gives rise to backache. Now in case of backpack, your briefcase, it should not carry more than 20% of your total body weight. And in case of purses, it should not carry more than 10% of your body weight, the entire body weight. And backpack and purses, it will be better if you have both the shoulder straps. Your shoulder straps should be thick enough to distribute proper weight. You should not hike your shoulder. You can alternate between both your shoulders, or you can give rest amount. You can keep your backpack down when you are waiting for someone or something, and you can alternate between shoulders, from your right shoulder to your left shoulder. This will also help to ease your backache. Now backache is mostly also due to your heels, while wearing heels. So your heels should be no more than 2 inches in height. Plus in your heels should be platform or wedges and not stilettos. And before and after wearing heels, you should do your foot and hip muscle stretching exercises, because over a period of time it alters your gait walking pattern, and it increases the compressive forces on the backache, on the back, which results in backache. Then what happens in sitting? If you're sitting for a very long duration, what does happen? It is found in a research by A.N. Atkinson that when you're sitting, your discal pressure. Now what is a disc? A disc is a soft gelatinous structure in between both your vertebrae. So this disc helps to cushion both your vertebrae, helps to absorb the forces, and helps in uniform distribution of your forces. So now in sitting, it's found that your discal pressure increases to 140 as compared to 25 at rest when you're lying down straight. So that time your discal pressure is 25. In sitting unsupported without any backrest, if I'm sitting like this, my discal pressure is increased to 140 as compared to standing, it's increased in 100. And if you are sitting with bending forward, and if you are doing rotation to take out something from below your desk or something, that increases your discal pressure by 400%. So why are we discussing about the discal pressure? Because continuously bearing all these stresses, the disc undergoes wear and tear, and this wear and tear, then the disc is pushed out of your vertebrae. The gelatinous structure, it pushes out, and this is known as a prolapse disc or slip disc. And once it comes out, it can cause your the spinal cord compression, or it can cause local nerve compressions also, which can give rise to your tingling, numbness, all of those symptoms. So we have to be very careful while sitting. So in sitting, when you're sitting for a very long time, it's ideally suggested that you take 10-15 minutes break after every 1 hour, or you take 20 minutes break after every 2 hours. Same goes for driving. When people are going driving, take break. Plus, it is advised by the National Highway Traffic Safety that your breastbone, this is your breastbone, should be 10 inches away from the steering wheel. Okay, and then your hands should be at the position of 3 and 9 on the steering wheel to reduce the spinal forces. Again, you should have a lumbar roll. What is a lumbar roll is, you have to have a towel roll placed on your back. A towel roll in the curve of your spine, you will be placing it. So this will help ease the backache of yours. Here will be your towel roll, and your seat should be closer to your steering wheel. Okay. And lastly, posture is affected due to the recent sedentary lifestyle, due to your weight. Overweight and obesity usually causes the backache. So you have to be very careful while sitting for longer duration. A study by the Tokyo Institute in Japan in 2017 has shown that your BMI, that is your body mass index, that is your weight on your height, and your body fat percentage is directly related to your low back ache. So the more is your BMI, the more is the risk and rate of your low back ache, and the more the time taken for recovery from your low back ache. So weight plays a very important part in your low back ache. So now let's start with the exercises. Before starting with the exercises, I would like to give a word of caution. If anybody along with the low back ache is having tingling, symptoms of tingling, numbness, that is, tingling is what junjuni sarkha, completely it's like an ant crawling on your body. Secondly, it could be numbness, that is, there is no sensation, it's numb. Sun padi guche, sun pad gaya hai types it will be. Third, it could be loss of bowel bladder control. What is bowel bladder control? It is a loss of sensation of passing urine or passing motions, either or both of it. Then if you're having fever is a sign of infection. A high fever, you have to immediately rush to the hospital. Secondly, if your backache is not cured if your backache is not cured with backache or with back pain, the backache is not cured within 72 hours, it will result in numbness, fever, or loss of bowel bladder control as explained. Or if your backache is not relieved within 72 hours, you should immediately go to an orthopedic to get your previously that any tingling, numbness, loss of bowel bladder control, fever, or your back pain, if it's not relieved within 72 hours, you have to go to an orthopedic to show your backache condition. Secondly, physiotherapist prescribes exercises only after thorough evaluation of your spinal movements and your motor power, that is how much muscle strength is you are having, and your sensory aspects. So right now exercises which I am demonstrating are very basic and very uniform, so you can do it. In case if you are having any back pain or your back pain aggravates after doing these exercises, so stop doing the exercises and get consulted by a local physiotherapist. Okay, so let's begin with the back exercises. We welcome our model, Mr. Yusuf Bhiwandiwala. Okay, so our first exercise is you'll be sitting on a chair. You have to interclasp your fingers. Okay. Place your hand behind your head, back of the head. Okay, not on your neck. And you look up. Take a deep breath. Spread your elbows as wide as you can. Hold this for 30 counts, and then breathe out and down, and bring your elbows closer. Okay, we'll do it again. Up. Elbows widely spread, breathe in, look up and down. This exercises basically helps in the stretching of your anterior chest muscles when you are opening up. It also helps to improve your thoracic mobility, your mobility of your back spine, your upper back spine. Thirdly, it also helps to improve your lung expansion, which improves your lung volume. Okay, now the second exercise is you can do it sitting on a chair, or if you want a better balance training, you can do it on a Swiss ball. This is known as an exercise ball. Please sit on this. Again, interclasp your fingers. You move to your right. Hold. Again, you move to your left. All the stretches which I am showing you has to be done 5 times, and each time you have to hold it for 30 seconds. Okay, you look in the direction of your rotation. Do not overstretch on the first day. Be gradual with your movements. We'll do it again. Interclasp your fingers and turn. Okay. Again, turn. On the ball, we are doing, it provides a better proprioceptive input, and it also helps to maintain your spine in neutral. This exercises helps to improve your spinal mobility. Both your upper back spine and your lower back spine mobility is improved with this. You can also do this exercise in standing. Please stand up. And you hold the ball in your hands. Larger movements will give you better relief and will give you a more movement awareness. So you turn to your right and then hold for 30. You turn to your left. You don't move your feet. You stay at your place. If you want, you can keep a wider base of support. And then you hold and you turn. Okay? You will not move your feet like this. Okay? You have to give a stable base to your pelvis, your hip bone, that is, and then you turn. Okay? We do this one more time. And to the other side. Okay. Now the next exercise for spinal mobility is known as the cat-camel exercise. In the cat-camel exercise, you go down to your kneeling position. You place your hands under your shoulder. Okay? And then you arch your back like a cat. Look up, elbow straight. This cat is without a meow. Okay? So you go up, arch your back. Good. Hold for 30 and then come down. Again, you become a camel. So you arch yourself and look down. Okay? Arch, hump as much as you can. Look down. Yes. Good. Again, you arch your back. Good. You don't go ahead. You maintain your spine. Your knees will be below your hips and your hands will be below your shoulder. You do not go ahead, you do not go behind. You stay in your place. Okay? Again, we'll do it one more time. This is the cat pose. Again, you go for the camel pose. Okay? Another exercise with this is, this exercise actually helps in the mobility while decompressing the spine. When you are in this position, there is no load on your spine and it helps in the better mobility of your spine. Now the other exercise is for your thoracolumbar fascia. The fascia is a connective tissue. This connective tissue is from your neck, from your neck area to your tailbone. Okay? So this helps in the attachment of various muscles from your neck to your lower back. So if you are stretching out the fascia, it provides more room for the muscles to move about and improves the mobility of the muscles also. And thus it helps in the efficiency of their working. So in this exercise, you stay on your hands and then slowly go back down and stretch. You maintain each stretches as said for 30 counts. and do these stretches exercises 5 times in one session and relax. Okay, so we are done with the mobility part. Now we'll go to the strengthening part. For the strengthening, please lie down. Lie down on your back first. Okay. So in this exercise, you have to lie down straight. Your head. You have to press both your shoulders down on the bed or on the pillow. Yes. You don't hold your breath in any exercises. Be careful. If you want, you can keep counting or you can blow out while you are exercising. So you press down, good. You hold for 10 and release. You again press down. You don't move your head around. It's only your shoulders and you release. You again press down, good. Hold for 10 and release. Strengthening exercises usually are performed for a count of 10 hold and it's repeated for 10 times. This exercise, for better input, you can do in prone lying, that is lying down on your tummy. Please lie down on your tummy. Your hands will be back. Face back, yes. This will be relaxed position. You can remove your specs if you want. And keep your face turned to one side if you want. Yeah. And you raise your shoulders up. Yes. Okay. Both the sides. So you count till 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you release. This helps in strengthening of your retractors, these muscles. This gives you a stable scapula, your stable spine. It will give you a stable spine and it will help you to move your arms. If your spine is stable, then only you will be able to move your arms for doing out the working. Okay. Now the next exercise for this is you can use a TheraBand also. You have to come up in standing. And you hold your TheraBand, you wrap it around as much as resistance you want and you pull it apart. And you hold for 10 or as you're comfortable initially. And you release it very slowly. Okay, you keep your hands at 90 degrees, you stretch and release it very slowly. Okay. And the next exercise is again in lying down. Please lie down. Lie down on your back. You bend both your legs. Okay. And you see movement here. Okay. So you place both your hands underneath your back. If you want, you can place only one hand. And you press your back on your hands. So, and release. This is known as posterior pelvic tilt. It helps in stretching the low back muscles and helps in strengthening your core. It basically provides a movement awareness because the people who are sitting continuously like this, they lose the movement awareness of either a neutral spine or a posterior pelvic tilting spine. So this is very important movement. So the person has to press the back on your hands. Please do it one more time. You don't do any breath holding in this. Okay? Relax. Then you place your hand on your perineal area. You will find two bony prominence on the side of your hips. You keep your legs bent. Yes. And you tuck it in. You tuck that area in. You do not hold your breath. Okay. This is basically activation of your deeper muscle. That is a transversus abdomen. Your abdomen is made up of a superficial muscle also and your deeper muscles also. For the stability, you require deeper muscles of your spine to get activated. So you activate your transversus abdominis, which is a very deep muscle. You will have a little difficulty in palpating, in touching it and feeling it, but gradually you will get the hang of it. Okay, so you just contract it, pull the muscle in towards the ground, not with your hands. It will be in pulling in maneuver with your muscle, deeper muscle. Yes, and you release. Okay. The next exercise is you keep your feet bent, legs bent. You keep some space in it. Okay, and you lift your hips up. Lift your hips up. This up. Your hips up. Yes. You can keep your hands down for better stability. You hold this for 10. Okay. And you release. Okay. Again up. Release. This exercise is excellent for your lumbar and pelvic stability. It also helps to strengthen your posterior muscles, which also forms a part of your core. Your core is made up of your abdominal muscles, your back muscles, and your pelvic floor muscles. Okay. Now you turn on your tummy. Okay, you go down. Yes. Now your elbows will be below your shoulders, and you come up. No. Like this. Up from your only your elbows. Up. And you look forward. Come up. Yes. Don't lift your elbows up. Okay. Breathe in. And go down.
You are live also.
You sit on a chair.
Yes.
And then breathe in. And go down. Breathe out. Again breathe in.
Live works. एक मिनट.
And breathe out. Okay? And wait.
Live.
Place it below your shoulder, both the hands, and you come up on your hands. Elbow straight. Breathe in and down. Breathe out. Again breathe in and breathe out. This is very good for the strengthening of your posterior back muscles. Also helps in relieving the pain due to contractions. Okay? Yes. Okay, as much as you can. This also helps in stretching your hip, and it also is known as the opening position of the spine. In case there is compression on the spine or there is loading on the nerve is getting compressed. This is a very good opening exercises for all your foramen. Again, you go up. In this exercise, you don't put hands on your knees to push it forward. You can either push it forward towards your chest from your legs or back of your thigh. So you hold it like this and pull it forward towards your chest. Okay, you don't give a jerky movements like this. You hold it for 30 counts and then you relax as much as you can tolerate. Or any problems you have, you can directly message me on my number, and you can follow me on Instagram as Hakimi Neurophysio Clinic _53. So thank you so much for being a patient listener, and do give me a feedback. Thank you.